How do you go from 0 to $1 million in your retirement accounts over 10 years? Is it even possible? Let's go for a walk and talk about it. So, you know, is it possible? Yes. Is it going to be easy? Absolutely not. And calculating the numbers, that's the easy part. You know, you're going to need, depending on your returns, to be saving anywhere from $50,000 to $70,000 a year over 10 years. And you're going to need returns of 8 to 12% a year. Those are solid returns. That's a lot of money to be saving a year, $50,000 to $70,000. So the bigger question is, you know, how do you put yourself in a position where you can be saving that kind of money? In order to be saving $50,000 a year, you know, for the average person, they've got to be making at least $150,000 a year when you figure in taxes, and then just basic living expenses. So, you know, so the bigger question is, how do you do that from a job standpoint? And then how do you do it from a mental standpoint? Because I think it's as much a mental challenge, it's a mindset challenge as anything else. I've shared on this channel before, I'm the first person in my family to go to college. You know, we just didn't think like that. We didn't think that, you know, we could have $1 million someday when we were retired. Retirement to us meant either you worked for a company that gave you a pension, and whether that's a private company or a municipality or a government job like working at the post office, joining the military, that was really how you retired. Or you planned on working part-time in retirement. And so that's kind of how I was raised. That's, you know, a big audacious goal like this is not possible. But if you're in a similar situation, if you're wondering, maybe you're behind on your retirement savings, you're wondering if you can catch up, you're a younger person and you're thinking, you know, how do I do this? That's what today's video is about. So the first thing, as I said, is really a mindset change. And I think there's a couple things, right? It's what you put into your mind. It's the consumption. It's the things that we watch. It's what we watch on television, what we watch on YouTube. Or you're watching videos like this that, you know, my goal is to help you live your best life. Help you become the best version, whatever that means to you, to help you achieve that and to have a great retirement. That's my goal. And so are you watching videos like this, or are you watching, you know, silly videos on YouTube? So, you know, what's your consumption both on YouTube, on your screens, what types of books and podcasts? So I'm constantly listening to positive thinking, podcasts and things to keep my mind in the right mood. And then another big thing is, you know, who are your friends? Who are you hanging out with? They say that you become the average of the 10 people that you spend time with. And I think there's a lot of truth to that. Now, you know, it'd be great if we all had a lot of friends that were billionaires. I just happen to be here in a, I don't know what you'd call it, a harbor, where some people obviously at least have money to invest in these boats. But, you know, if you don't live in a harbor town, I don't, I just happen to be visiting, you know, how do you find these people? And I think, you know, it doesn't have to be somebody that's already a millionaire. It doesn't have to be somebody that's a billionaire. It can just be other people that are committed like you are to being the best version of themselves and trying their best. And, you know, if it works out, great. If it doesn't work out, humans are adaptable. You're still going to be better off for having tried. So, you know, not only is it what we feed ourselves, but it's also, you know, who we're hanging out with, who our friends are. So those are the first steps, you know, thinking through that. Now, that's, you know, as boxers say, you know, show me somebody that's all heart and I'll show you somebody that is about to get knocked out, right? So it's not enough to have heart. It's not enough to have positive thinking. You also have to be able to level up your skills. You need to be able to level up your salary. So let's talk about some of these steps that you can do that hopefully will help out. So, and I'm going to do this by wage level. So, you know, if you're early in your career, if you're closer to minimum wage, I've shared on this channel before, neither of my parents ever made more than certainly 3 times minimum wage and probably closer to 2 times minimum wage. So, you know, I'm not being critical. I'm just saying, if that's your reality, if you're, you know, at 1 or 2 times minimum wage, how do you start making more than that? I think you need to look at, there's some programs, some certificate programs, some training programs that you can take that in a fairly short period of time, you can learn a new skill and make an extra $5, $7 an hour, which, you know, over 40 hours a week, that gives you $200, $300 more in your paycheck. And it's not that that's going to get you to $1 million, but that's going to allow you to pay for some more training. So first is, you know, a shorter term training. I've shared before, my youngest daughter was making minimum wage and in fact, she was working at a place where you paint pottery, making minimum wage. The guy that ran that was super nice. And so for a couple weeks during the summer, she went and she got her CNA, Certified Nursing Assistant. And that took her 3 or 4 weeks and maybe cost $1,000, at most $2,000. And that allowed her to make an extra $5 or $7 an hour, right? And so from there, so now she's gone from a minimum wage job to something that is a livable wage, although barely livable. Still not going to be able to save $1 million with a job like that. So, you know, now how does she go from a livable wage to a good wage? And again, I think it's investing in yourself. It's training in yourself. There's things like coding boot camps that you can go to. That, you know, that depending on it can be, you know, 3 months to a year to really pick up that skill set. There are trades like plumbing and electricians and carpenters. You know, there's a shortage of people that are high quality, that are, I believe the term is a journeyman in those trades. And you know what, there's a shortage, there's a lot of demand for it. You get paid as you train. Plumbing, I have a friend that's a plumber, and he says there's a critical shortage of plumbers, and they get paid really well while they go through the ranks and learn to become a journeyman plumber. So the trades is a great way to do that. Also, social media marketing for younger people. For people that aren't quite so young, we can still learn those skills. And, you know, just about every small company needs to get the word out about their marketing, whether that's social media marketing or more traditional marketing and copywriting. Those are skills that you can learn in a fairly short period of time, and it's really about getting results. It's not necessarily about having the degree. So again, we're constantly leveling up our skills, we're upskilling. Recruiting is another one that, you know, and right now is a tough time for recruiters because, you know, the economy is starting to slow down, but helping companies build out their teams when they're growing again can be another way to level up and get additional salary. So now you've got a good salary. Now that you have more than a livable salary and you can start saving money, but you're still likely not going to be able to save that $50,000 to $70,000 a year on these. So you need to level up at least once more and maybe twice more. So let's keep going, and be sure to stay to the end because I'm going to share with you what those actual numbers are so that you have an idea what you have to save to go from $0 to $1 million in 10 years. It is possible, but it's not going to be easy. And so what we're talking about is increasing your income in order to make it more possible for it to happen. All right, so let's keep going. So now we've got a job. We've gone from minimum wage to a livable wage to better than a livable wage, you know, doing a coding boot camp, becoming a journeyman over time, one of the trades, electrician, plumber, carpenter, skills like that. And there's probably many more. You can also do social media market, but now we're talking about going from a good salary to a better salary. And so how do you do that? And I think you do that now is really when, you know, the best thing that I think you can do is learn some basic selling skills. Every company needs somebody at some level to help them sell their products and services to other people. So getting good at that, there's a great book that I really like. It's called The Go-Giver. And it talks about how you build your network. And you build your network, frankly, by thinking, what can I give to the other person first? You know, how can I be helpful? How can I help the other person achieve their goals? And if I help them achieve their goals, then there's a good chance they're going to help me achieve my goals. So it's a great book. It's called The Go-Giver. There's also a good book on selling and thinking through what your offer is for your products and services. There's a guy on YouTube, Alex Hormozi, Hormozi. He's got a couple million followers now, but he's got a great book. It's called $100 Million Offers. And I think it's like a $3 book. It might be the best $3 you'll ever spend on Amazon. But, you know, learning those networking skills, being able to help other people achieve their goals, being able to learn selling yourself. And then another thing that can be super powerful is, you know, if you've got a good job where you can save some money, you might not be on track to save that $1 million in 10 years or to, it's both savings and then, you know, the returns on those savings. But one thing you could do is maybe invest in some real estate. And I'm not talking like, you know, the TV infomercial, you know, buy a house with no money down. I'm talking about just basic, plain vanilla, buy good properties in a good location, rental properties. Maybe it's a single family, maybe it's a duplex. You get a traditional loan for it. You probably, you know, it's a commercial loan, it's a business loan. So you put down 30%. So it's not get rich quick, it's get rich slowly and sustainably. So that's, you know, how do you go from good to better, right? So we went from minimum wage to livable to good, and now we're going to better. And at this stage, you might have a shot. Once you're at that better stage, once you learn how to network, you've got those professional skills, maybe you're running your business. If you're in the trades, maybe you've been a plumber for another organization for 10 years, and now, or 5 years, whatever it takes, and now you're ready to start your own business. So that's how you get to the next level. And then how do you get from good to better to best? And ultimately, that probably involves starting your own company or being a high-level executive at a company that can afford to pay you a fair amount of money. And I want to go back to that trades conversation. You know, if you go to trade school, if you become an electrician, if you become a carpenter, if you become a plumber, boy, starting your own business, you know, if you're a true craftsperson that is looking out for your customers, doing great work, starting your own business and having a dozen folks working for you or 100 folks working for you, that can be a life-changing event. So I'm going to go into the numbers now. I'm sure you're curious. I'm going to give you specific numbers. But before I go there, I want you to give me a thumbs up if you've been enjoying this video. Leave me a comment and think about subscribing if you haven't done that. So how much money does it take in order to save $1 million, including your savings and the return on your savings? Again, the numbers are the easy part, but let's jump into it. If you get an 8% return, which is kind of what the stock market has averaged for over 50 years, you've got to be saving just under $70,000 a year. That's a lot of money. It's $69,029. If you get fortunate and you get a 10% return, you've got to save a little over $60,000 a year, $62,745. And if you get really lucky and you get a 12% return, which can happen over a decade, it does happen, there you get a little bit of a break. You still got to save over $50,000 a year. It's just under $57,000, $56,984. And I wish you luck doing this. Again, it starts with the mindset. It starts with who you're hanging out with. And if you'd like to retire early, if you're thinking about doing that, I know you're going to find this video over here super helpful. It talks about 5 ways to retire as soon as you can. And then I've got another video over here that talks about average income in retirement. You're going to enjoy both of those, because if you know the average income in retirement, then from there you can back into how much money you need in order to retire. Thanks for watching. I'm Azul. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.